Hey everybody, Coach Kurt back at you with Kay Curtis again. I just enjoy teaching and sharing stories with Kay as she expresses herself so well. And today, what we really want is to talk about Ann's higher level mentorship programs through the years. It actually started more like 10 years ago as we evolved then into the e-commerce world. And the program, one of the higher level mentorship programs right now, is called the ECommerce Master's Program, of which Kay Curtis is not only a graduate, if you will, receiving her certification, but she's also one of the teachers and trainers that help other people come up through the ranks. The e-commerce Masters program is your full-on training and mentoring platform with access to not only all of our main training courses at the e-commerce business school, but close access to all of Ann's faculty, staff, coaches, trainer on a regular basis, and in virtual and live empowering environments. And so if you want to know more about the aspects and the features and the programs within e-commerce Masters program, we have information on that. It might even be on this page that you're watching it. But more than that is, what does it do for people? How does it help people on their journeys? And we're going to be sharing, starting with these stories of good friends of Ann Sieg and myself. Our story goes back even farther than these stories, like 15 years. But today we want to look at Kay Curtis's story. This is a picture of her now training in front of a live audience at one of our live events and her receiving her certification. So Kay, it's just a joy having you on staff and being part of one of the trainers. And you were homegrown, if you will, even though you came to our community, obviously with a lot of talents and experiences under your belt. Why don't you share a little bit about your background and how and why you plugged into some of the mentorship that's available to others now?
Okay, well, I actually met Ann or found her early on, but actually before she was doing e-commerce. I had worked in the independent book industry for over 20 years and had retired and was trying to find something to do from home. I'm not crazy about network marketing and building teams and all of that. That just wasn't my thing. And I don't like depending on other people to help me make money. I want to be able to make money because of my efforts and results. So I was looking for something to do in the e-commerce space, and Ann launched Shop Your Way to Wealth in 2015, and I jumped on it. Having retail background, I could see the power of what this could do. And so I started in July, around the 1st of July, and started building Shop Your Way to Wealth, and attended my first live event in September. And I'm not one to just sit, and I don't have to know everything to start. What I did with Shop Your Way to Wealth was I took it, read it, then went back, read it, and was implementing, and did that very quickly, and figure that I don't look at mistakes as mistakes. I look at it as learning curve. And in the summer before I came to the live event, I took advantage of some coaching, which was very, very helpful in helping me to accelerate. We had a race to Minnesota, which I just launched this morning with Kurt. And my goal was to hit $10,000 in sales by the middle of September when our live event was. I hit 15,000, which I was really excited about. And at that event, they also launched the book flipping. And so I immediately jumped on that. I knew that I wanted to expand into other areas like wholesale, maybe private label. I wasn't really sure what direction I was going to fully go. But in September, I elected to jump right to the top to the e-commerce Masters program, because when I want to do something, I want to do it right now. I don't want to wait for an event to get trained. And so by upgrading to the e-commerce Masters program, I had access to all the training so that I could do what I wanted, when I wanted, and when it was right for my business, and not have to wait for somebody to go along. Because of that, I met my partner, Sarah Sudis, and through the accountability groups, or what we like to call them as mastermind groups. We met every week, and we had a great little group, and we would talk about what we were doing. We would talk about our goals. We would kind of learn together. But Sarah and I felt a really close connection through that group. And because of that, we started doing JV, which is joint venture opportunities with wholesale. And we have done that for about three and a half years now. And we've decided to actually merge our businesses into one legal entity because we work so well together. I love training with and she has been great. The training has been top notch, always over delivers. I have taken advantage of coaching with every program that I have implemented. And my first year and a half, I think I went to every live event she offered. And my investment, if you got to be an action taker. This is not a get rich quick scheme. You got to get off your butt and work. But if you implement what you learn, if you implement what you're told in coaching or in classes or whatever, I found that I could usually recover my investments in either coaching or additional education within 2 to 4 weeks, just by going out and busting my butt and working. So, and then it's fun to turn around and give back. I've enjoyed, I love to teach. And as long as I know what I'm talking about, I do okay. So I love
you do great. You do great, Kate. I'm just going to point out the slide I'm looking at now. You write at a live event, standing there by Sarah, which is awesome, and sharing at events. And you are such a go-giver back into the community. I'm flipping to the slide now where you were actually what we called at that point a pit crew member at an event to help the newer members. So your go-giving attitude, you're just about to talk about that. I wanted to get to that slide. It's really been appreciated. Those opportunities maybe aren't exactly like building an e-commerce income, but it is building the person and giving opportunity for those skills and career paths to develop. Could you speak a little bit about that?
So by doing things like that, by helping in the Facebook pages, as you get more experience in the programs, we're always having new people coming in and learning. As you start, you've been through the ropes, you've been through the process, and the kind of questions you had when you started, these new people are having when they start. And so it's really important that that peers within our community help each other. And so responding to questions and if someone has a problem and you figured out a way to do it, sharing what your solution is. We've always been a very giving community, and this helps you develop the leadership skills. So if you decide that you want to go up the trainers, leaders, and coaches path and learn to be in that more of a leadership role and actually be able to earn money doing coaching and training, the community gives you a great platform to develop that skill, in addition to actual training courses that will help you do that. And you're never alone. That's the beauty of our community. You're never alone. Everyone is they're like-minded. They're genuinely positive. Sometimes we get some naysayers in there, but we usually get a hold of them real quick and work to turn their mind around. Get them looking at things in a more positive direction.
Sure.
And usually people that don't want to make those kinds of changes weed themselves out. And so for the most part, we found the community to be very positive, very supportive, very encouraging. We'll have races to Minnesota, but it's not a competition between people. It's more of a yoking ourselves together and let's move our businesses forward as a group, as opposed to, oh, I did more than you. We don't do that. It's just trying to give that supportive attitude. And that's what's been so great. Ann and Kurt and all the upper leaders have always had an open ear. They're always open to suggestions. One thing I love about Ann is she's not afraid to change. And so sometimes that can be disconcerting because you feel like you're just getting used to the program and then she changes it. But there's a reason why she does it, and she's willing to be flexible, which is why her business is working. You're going to find that with Amazon. Amazon is always changing. And so the way I did things in 2015 is not how you do things now, because Amazon is a different animal than it was 3 years ago. And so you have to be flexible and willing to change. And it's great that Ann and Kurt and Brian and Josie and everyone else in the community is willing to change. They're willing to learn. They're willing to grow. They're willing to look for new opportunities. They're willing to listen and to take your input. I remember in San Diego, one of our trips when we went to San Diego, we had a kind of a EMP retreat. It was just kind of like the upper echelon group. And one of the things that I loved about Ann is that she actually just sat down with us and she says, okay, and she got her notepad out and she says, what do you like? What don't you like? What suggestions do you have? And she just sat there and listened to us and was taking notes. And then you could see tweaks and changes within the community based on our feedback. And that makes you feel really good, when you can be contributing, but that the people that make the decisions about where the business is going are listening to you. And so it's just been an awesome experience.
Okay, you leaned hard into the resources that are available in the e-commerce masters program. You mentioned the peer groups and the events. I am showing the slide of San Diego now, and on and on. And you did aspire, and part of your career choice has been the training and coaching. People can hire you as a coach. You will trade at live events. But even if someone that isn't part of their desire, the progression of growing as a business person and then as an e-commerce owner, entrepreneur, those skills can also be applied and need to be applied if you are going to grow and scale a business, as whether it's joint ventures or VAs or all of that. Would you
Right.
agree with that? And
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you're not going to be a solopreneur. You're not going to really be, you can't really be successful if you stay a solopreneur. You're going to need a team. And it starts with the team in EBS that helps you to get to a point where you are comfortable now hiring VAs, maybe hiring, people around you, building your business. I had someone that would list and ship my books. There's all these opportunities of ways that you can take things, because you learn very quickly in this business, particularly with books and with Shop Your Way to Wealth. The place you make your money is out scanning. Okay. It's not shipping. It's not doing your books. It's not processing your books. It's not cleaning your books. None of that makes you money. Now, all of that has to be done for your business to work, but the only place you make money is out scanning. And so as fast as you can get efficient and have systems in place for these things that don't make you money but still have to be done, that's when you start paying other people to do it. And we teach you how to do that. And, so whether you want to go up the trainers, leaders, and coaches path, or whether you just want to build a successful business, you're going to need some leadership skills that are taught within the community in order to be effective, no matter which way you go.
And Kate, you leaned into the resources of the e-commerce masters program, and now you are part of our training community, one of our esteemed coaches, and now you're helping others come up through that system. And your journey has been different than, say, even Sarah's, who's your partner now, or Brian's, or Kathleen's, or Joe, everybody. And the slide I'm showing now is we lean heavily into this in the e-commerce masters program too, and that is the e-commerce roadmap to a six-figure income, because it's not cookie cutters, not this is the path for everybody. And even within the people that will have interviews and so on and so forth, everybody's path is different. Can you speak to that a little bit? How that benefited you, and how that you see that benefiting other people you're helping now?
Yeah, it's really important that you use the community as a support, that this system works. But you don't use it to beat yourself up because you're not doing as well as somebody else. Everyone's situation is different. When I started in 2015, I was retired. I had no little kids at home. I wasn't working a job. And so I had time. I also had a husband that was working two jobs, and he's a heating and air conditioning mechanic, does very well in the summer. And when he saw how fast I was turning cash around in the Shop Your Way to Wealth program, he basically said, for the next 6 months, I will bank you. So he basically gave me a blank check to go out and buy. So I had I didn't have a cash flow issue. That's not the situation with everybody. 3 years later, my situation has changed dramatically. I had knee replacement surgery last June. I'm still recovering from that. The knee's doing great, but my stamina's in the tank. And so I'm 63 years old. My doctor says, come on, you're not 25. I said, yeah, but my brain's still 25 and it wants to do what I did when I was 25. And she says, sorry, it doesn't work like that. So I've had to readjust things and the way I run my business because of limitations that I now have because of health and age and whatever. And so everyone's situation is unique. That's why you cannot compare what one person does to another, because nobody has the exact same business as you. The important thing is that we are all building a business, and building a business has challenges, and we all experience those. And so there's ways that we can help and encourage and motivate each other, but don't ever let it be a competition of you got to do better than somebody else, because that's the only person you have to do better than is yourself. You need to be better today than you were yesterday, and you need to be better tomorrow than you are today. And as long as you hold on to that mindset and you can say, does that mean you don't ever take breaks? No, sometimes you do. There's times when you need to take back. But the other thing that I think is really important is you need to realize that when you invest in education, that is going to propel you in a way in your business that is very hard to do on your own. So while our basic courses provide you with the basics of what you need to do it, and you can do it. I did it. I did not get coaching. I started Shop Your Way to Wealth. I didn't get coaching for 6 weeks. So for 6 weeks, I built the business on my own, participating in the community, and I was making money, enough that my husband bankrolled me. But I wanted to move faster than what I was doing. And so that's when I signed up for coaching, and I worked with Marcia Godwin. She was awesome. And I implemented what she said, and then I got book flipping. I didn't even wait 6 weeks. I immediately signed up for coaching from Phyllis on book flipping, because I saw the advantage of the coaching with Shop Your Way to Wealth early on. And then because I had done EMP, Sarah and I decided in November we wanted to do wholesale. So now we took the classes together and we kind of mentored each other, which was really great, a great way to learn with a partner. And, and it just went on from there. And so the biggest takeaway is you're never alone, but you're not competing with anyone but yourself. This is your unique business, and there is no cookie cutter, but the e-commerce business school does give you the basic roadmap that you can take and apply to any any situation you have. You can build this business.
Yeah, and we individually help people develop that roadmap. And okay, one last thing I would like you to mention: as you journeyed, you progressed from the cash flow asset arbitrage businesses and are adding now a print on demand. You have a passion for genealogy, and that's more of an asset possible selling business. We talk about that dual, how that works together. Like you said, for everybody it's a little bit different. But could you speak to that a little bit about this next progression in your passion for POD? I just think it's important for people that are looking at the e-commerce masters program to say, well, how can this cash flow and then building an asset, how does that work together, and why is it important to do it within a group of collective wisdom like this?
Well, one thing that I always look at Shop Your Way to Wealth as my cash cow. So if I ever need an infusion of cash, I go out scanning, because Shop Your Way to Wealth, you tend to, once you learn the skills, you tend to be able to flip the products pretty quick and generate cash. Book flipping can provide more of a sustained income, but it takes longer. You don't pay as much for the books, so you don't have as much initial investment in books, but it goes longer. Like I said, with me now, I have health issues. My ability to go out, when I used to scan in 2015, it was not uncommon for me to go out and take a day and scan for 6 or 8 hours. I cannot do that now. So last year when POD was presented, print on demand was presented to us, I thought, I can do that from home. And so I thought, okay, I'm jumping on this because this is something I can do, and I can work it in on my time frame when I have the energy and when I can do it. And so we've actually, even in POD, we've made a little shift, because to create a brand and a Shopify store, it's a lot of work. I'm not going to kid you, it is a lot of work. And you put a lot of work in before you start seeing results in terms of money. And so we have changed up the program a little bit to where now we've already taught you how to do Amazon. Let's take POD and let's test it on Amazon first and get some cash flow going before you start building your own brand on your own website. I didn't do it that way because that's not what we were doing. But so I think it's important when you go on Amazon and do it that way, you can come up with creative designs. You don't really have to know a lot about the niche as much as you do with being able to recognize good designs, good sayings, and all of that. When you're going to actually build a store, I think it's important that you have passion about the topic or the niche that you're talking about. So I love family history and genealogy, and that's what I picked. And because of that, I can engage with my people. I have a Facebook page that I started last June that now has over 18,500 people that have liked that page. And I can engage with them, I can answer questions, I can be involved with them. And so I can create a mini and community within my own niche, because it's something I know something about. And since it does take a lot more time, and I'm invested in family history anyway, I don't feel like it's not just a business to me. I have more of a connection, and I think that makes a difference on that page. Do people know that I care about my topic, that I'm not just doing this to make money, and so that's what So you've got kind of all these options, and some people may never move beyond the Amazon platform. That's fine. That's the beauty of this. You can pick and choose what works for you and what works for your business, because it is your business.
Yeah.
And the opportunities are there. And as Anne discovers new opportunities, or we bring new opportunities to her, or different things like that, then guess what? We'll be writing courses for that and helping to expand so people can continue to grow in this ever-changing e-commerce space.
Absolutely. And you're a great example of that, how to knit together the cash flow, the asset building, the passions, the niches, the platforms like Amazon and Shopify. Just love the way you take action to make things happen and grow for your business, Kay. So thank you for giving back so significantly. And if you are watching this video, Kay is accessible as one of our coaches here within our community. And she came up through the e-commerce masters program and now helps the others that are coming up through the e-commerce masters program design their business and move forward with it. So if you are interested, your next step is just to make an appointment with Sharon right now. She's one of our business advisors here at the e-commerce business school. You can just go to ecommercebusinessschool.com/advisor. So thank you, Kay, for your time. Thank you for all that you for the community. We'll have fun right now with the race to Minnesota too. So appreciate you.
All right. Yeah. So everybody come on and join and then get into that race. You're going to see great things happen there.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.